Absolutely well. I think they are one of the highest growth rates on agricultural produce. One of the highest growth rates in industries. Now the question is, that is what I think made people to sit back and actually, there is something like that happening here. You know, I mean, poor also means capable because they survived. They survived every difficult situation in the country. Let's accept that. And I think today anything what you can do to give them a prestige. One of the questions I believe is the entire farming community is technology. I'll give you examples that you will understand. Many of you know the airport before this T1 and all happened in Delhi, right? Some of you don't travel at that time, but some of us has traveled. And I always give this an example, and you know, I used to see, you know, that time even the educated youth, sometimes somebody who is probably done his ITI or after his graduation, they will come to the airport and that fellow will be working as a sweeper. He makes a reasonable amount of money, that's not a question, but he has no prestige in that job. Correct? So I've seen the boy, and I got a problem of talking to anybody and everybody. I enjoyed it. So, एक दिन मेरा चेहरा उतरा था, मतलब क्या हो गया? ऐसा है. क्या काम कर रहा हूँ? मैं तो पढ़ा लिखा हूँ, and I have to do this because something. So I am become a sweeper. I didn't say anything. Reality of life, but you know what he forgot is he has got a prestige in that work. Now we always say that when you compare sweepers, you don't compare them with others. You say who's the best of the sweeper, no? वो काम भी तो कितना अच्छा कर रहा है, but for him this was a because he was looking up to something. I want to make kids are kids and youngsters are youngsters. इसका बाद T1 हो गया. So he is a बंदा, अभी स्वीपिंग मशीन को अगर चला रहा है इधर से इधर हंस रहा है, तो बोला क्या होगा? एक बार I am driving. निकला बंदे तू भी स्वीपर का काम ही कर रहा है, but तेरा प्रेस्टीज आ गया. That's only the difference. Correct? No? This I think is what we need to the farmers. See, in order to make things, if you can add something to ensure that they are no more doing a job which is menial, but they are doing a job which they can be proud of, tell me which youngster won't come. Correct? No? Now today there will be a competition for driving a sweeper because it's driving an equipment. It's not sweeping. उसका mind से निकल गया. That I am sweeper करके निकल गया. He is now as good as any other driver. So this is something I think technology is going to bring to the farm. Believe me, this is what is going to happen. And you will find now, I don't know. See, we today talk about difficulties in farming. Today, I wish one of them I can take some of you people to the J farm and we really want you to take them. See, we have a farm which we created in 1963. It comes in a 200-acre farm. Now, why we created the farm is a story behind it. You look at 1960s. The dealer used to go in a cycle to sell a tractor. किधर था motorcycle, किधर था the cars. You go to 1960s, you can actually walk on the roads because there's nothing there. So the dealer used to go on a cycle to sell the tractor to the farmer who was afraid to buy a tractor, thinking that वो पहिया तो खराब कर देगा जमीन. This is the mindset, and it's a reality. So बोलेगा no, I don't want a tractor. I still prefer using a bullock because ये पहिया spoil करेगा. Now the question was, how do I convince people that ये नहीं होने वाला है? And farmer को कितना भी आप भाषण दे दो, वो सुनेगा, मत करेगा नहीं, मानेगा नहीं. तो सुनेगा, तो he's got a lot of patience to listen to whatever bakwas you say. But then he will decide what is good and what is bad. It's a reality. Yeah? This is typical farming community. So we decided the only way to change this flow is physically show. Now you cannot show a 200-acre farm. So we divided into 1 acre and half acre and quarter acre and exactly replicated what he is doing. And that is what the J farm is all about. Then we started putting the tractor. You could plan kar lo. Now people are very hesitant to do this, believe me. But then somebody started using it and they are
What I used to take 1 acre के लिए, I used to take almost a day. अभी तो 1 घंटा 2 घंटा में हो रहा है. Then he went and started checking the land. ठीक है, land भी ठीक है. Because you know the reason is when you do it, you really do a plowing of 12 or 14 feet deep, which is also not good. It's a different ball game. But that time it was good. Okay. So he suddenly started. That is how slow and steady the creation of technology or mechanization with mechanical tools into farming started. Then we did something which again most of the people in the country don't know, not even in Tamil Nadu and South don't know. We are the first to develop a rice which today is planted in 6 million acres in South. Nobody knows about it because we never took any royalty or we didn't took IP. And now it is called the Ponni rice. How many people know Ponni rice? At least from South people should raise and you know Ponni rice. We started it by getting a seed variety from Philippines. Rice was the juice. Adapted it for Tamil Nadu. And then we started giving the seed to the farmers. Only one condition. You should sell this as a seed for next three generations. So they will put it, convert it to seed, sell the seed. That's how it spread. When they started the spread, then Tamil Nadu government came in. We did 3 strains and then they did the balance strain. And they named it Ponni. Otherwise it was called that JR variety, that is J-farm variety number. So they converted to Ponni and then actually became flooded in the market. Now the question is, somebody asked the question, how do you get things to farmers? They will adapt it, probably you give it to them to adapt and they will do a good job. Ponni rice is a very typical example. And today it is very famous. Lot of people, even the Tamil Nadu government doesn't know. Though if you really go to the archives, they have the data. But they don't even know this is what has happened. And we also, as a company, we don't know. It's a very good thing we do. So this is one thing. Second thing what we have done is, in that particular J farm, we have what we call as, Chennai has 15 days of rain. Especially that area, exactly like 15 days of rain fall, even today. Certain areas are like that in Chennai, can't do anything. So water conservation was our biggest problem. So we said, how do I grow a imam person when there is no water? How do you grow coconut when there is no water? So we have a full-fledged imam person farm which is completely on drip irrigation with this 15 days of water what you get. And also 100% on organic. Everything there what you do is organic from 1963. Now people ask a question, organic is not successful. No, organic takes time. It's not successful. Organic takes time. And the advantage in organic and disadvantage in organic. Organic has a problem of pests because there is nothing to kill the pest in an organic farm. When you put today's pesticide and stuff like that, everything dies, including us. So that is the situation. So if you see a fruit which is already infected with pests, very reasonably can assume that it is much more closer to organic than inorganic farming. So we were doing everything organic. So we also have about 50 to 100 cows. And we grow that basically because that cow manure. So that's what we call it the integrated farming system. So the cow manure becomes the vermicide, then you use it. And that is one farm you can definitely, even today you can see butterflies and your earthworms. Because you don't get earthworms in other farms today because of this problem. So, and then people think, say farming productivity, and then we tell them, you come and see. I am not saying you should adapt. These are all for showcasing. So there are farmers who have been bitter. The day they seed it, they were cultivating. And then they realize, so quite a few of them are adapted. We also have there what we call as the low cost hydroponics. Now when you talk about hydroponics, we say 1 acre, 2 acres, 25 lakh, 30 lakh, 40 lakh. We do a hydroponic in less than 2-3 lakhs for an acre. And that lasts for about 15 years. Now what is the advantage in hydroponics is, absolutely can save water. Because you recirculate it. people wouldn't understand. Number party in the village. You understand? We use that sometimes. Suppose we use the local material. We use the simple plastic sheets to create. Then you ferticate it with water and the necessary fertilizer, which is again an organic fertilizer. Then when it comes out, you check the. So what happens is that then it goes back, and everything is, we do it mostly on a gravity fault, so that you don't really use too much of power. So what happens is then so what really happens is we did chilies. We got something like, we expected twice the productivity because we got 7 times the productivity. And we also didn't realize it can happen like that because you get multiple pickings. Farmers are senior and they are taking it and adapted it. So some people have used the party to create it, some people are using whatever is locally available. So what is the additional thing they do? There is a drip irrigation, small drip irrigation system, a collection system. And two small pumps to bring it back to the main tank. And the whole thing today we control is the. So what happens is even the kids can do it. And once you create this hydroponic system, and we use cocoa peat rather than only putting the cocoa peat and the system, once you use it, your maintenance, it is actually maintenance free and you can control everything through. So that means you don't have to even do anything on the ground. You remember, there is nothing like this. Very bad for people. I said tractor. You don't have to cultivate the land. Kuch nahi karne ka. So imagine this is also extremely eco-friendly and carbon safe because you don't touch it. Now people have started using it for what all things used for. You get any kind of vegetables today you can grow on this. So we have almost all the local vegetables. We can actually take in lauki, kilki and all from north, and we do it in Chennai because we have a lot of boys and girls from north. They are working for us. So they are very happy to see lauki locally, which we don't realize that, but a lot is possible. I don't call it like an internationally. See, they think that when we talk about a hydroponic, etc., the biggest advantage India has is we have sun. So we are eliminating the artificial sunlight system totally. That cuts down the huge cost. So that is what makes the big difference. So whenever your time comes and if you are coming that side, this is what's taking around. Most of the people, in fact, I have never expected the people who told me that I got trained there was ex-DG. and this gentleman who was Sardar, who was in Amul. One day he told me, when I was a young kid, I only went there for training. I said, come on. Sorry. So I didn't. So we don't even know we have created so many people from there. So, but this has been a place where people used to come from everywhere, take training. Now, why am I explaining this to you is, we also now doing work on drones there. And you never believe when I say that. See, drones, we have proved that drones can cut down fertilizer and similarly, pesticide pura dal do risk nahi. Say 10 tons of produce, and because of all this, right? Now what happens? Because there are, how does it reach? Certain crops it may not reach down the way it should be reaching down. Fertilizer may not be reaching much more than the difference. But if it reaches well in, they say that what we need to start working on it. You don't do it, and there is nothing to do with tractor. This the difference will be, but at least we got minimum 3% productivity, so which is good, and cost reduction. So that is becoming a sort of a model. So this is why we went on JFARM, we started it. Then Telangana wanted it. So now we said that we will not do it separately. We will make it part of the agricultural. Because a lot of farmers will automatically come, a lot of children come, they are already studying there. So Telangana we have done that, part of the agricultural college. Maharashtra is becoming part of UP, we are going to do this part of the agricultural college. And MP, we are going to take. So whatever you want to take, because we run everything free. So what we do is we do that. If we give an old building, we convert the building for training, because we also do tractor and equipment training. I said, if we win the old place, we will convert it. Otherwise, we will build it. Then we run it. We said, I am happy to run it forever, but at least 25 years, we are happy to run it for you. Beyond that, if you want to run it, but I have come to one conclusion. No? If you are going to do a good job and you are going to spend money, nobody wants to run it. So I think they will be continually run by us. This is what it looks like. But the advantage what you get is, now why are we giving a training for actors and implementers? See, if you don't set and implement properly, you use power. People don't realize it. You spend 1 to 1.5 liters more per hour of fuel, and the implement penetration is not good. And 99.9% of farmers don't set it. वो पड़ा रहता है, ऐसा उठाए में डालेगा खींचे. This is reality of the farmer. But once you start training them, once you start seeing the advantages of it, so that is why when I tell people, no, don't take it for granted that what you are doing is perfect. Please look at every time how do I improve this. So some of these things are become great experience for all of us. So these are the experiences we live and these are experiences we talk about it. Something yesterday I think joint secretary, I said we need a center of excellence for agricultural engineering in India. We don't have one. We got center of excellence for so many things. Agriculture का भी कोई सोचता ही नहीं. And said now yesterday he said that we are going to do it and we are going to convert one of the